Ani, Kenny Pheasant here with our show Endying. Excuse me. Now, as you probably know, I'm retiring from teaching in schools and whatnot. So I'm doing these little presentations about things that I used to do with the kids in school. So the reason why I'm doing it is maybe you want to try something like this with your class, with your group, with whatever. Okay? So I have been going to different schools here in Michigan, this part of Michigan, for the last 30 years, over 30 years. And I have come up with these presentations, different things. And I came up with this presentation, and it's a introductory. It's the first one, and the course actually goes for 10 weeks, but this is the first one. So this one school I've been at, I was there for 19 years, okay? And it was getting a little scary for me because I also taught at a daycare. And the kids that I was teaching at the daycare are the children of the kids that I used to teach 19 years ago. People thought that was cool. And I says, no. I said, that means I'm getting old. But anyways, I was there for 19 years, this one school, Kennedy School, Manistee, Michigan. Fifth graders, I thought. Okay? And so when I walk into the classroom, they all, think this is so cool, But anyways, I asked them, I say, this presentation is about in 3 parts: history, culture, and language. Language we'll finish with, okay? And then, so I start off with history. And my first question to them is, does anybody in here know the name of my people? And some raised their hands. They says, Native Americans, Indians, tribes. Oh, I got all kinds of things, okay? This was 19 years ago, all right? And anyways, I asked this one class if they would draw a Native American for me, and they did. And they put a feather on the back of the head. At the end of that semester, I asked them to do the same thing. You know what they did? They drew a picture of me, my long hair and everything. Anyways, so I introduced our true name of our people, the Anishinaabe, which many of them never heard of before. Okay, so now they call us tribes, they call us Ottawa, Chippewa, and all that kind of stuff, But I says the true name of my people is Anishinaabe. Okay, and so they didn't know that 19 years ago. I asked the same question again 19 years later. Some of those kids know because their sister or their brother took my class and they shared it at home. All right. Here's another thing I ask. Okay. Our people were asked, what is the name of your land? Do you have a name for your land? We said, yes, we do. And what is it? Mshikan. Mshikamnis. And, oh boy. Well, now that word Mshikan has evolved into a different word, which is now called Michigan. That was supposed to be called Mshikan. Anyways, I'm going to get to the presentation here about what I do with the kids to make them learn the language in a fun way. All right, but I showed them this map. I says, you know what? I says, our people. I kind of drew in something here. I says, our people cover 2 countries. That's how big our group is. Okay, and I tell them the story, the terrible story of what happened to the kids that went to residential schools, all right? And I show them this picture, and I says, all those kids look alike. They all dress alike. Nobody's smiling. I said, that's what happened in residential school. So in, after I teach them a while, I play a bingo game with them. Okay, and then in this bingo game, you're not allowed to speak any other language but Anishinaabe. Okay, so from the beginning of class, no English. All the way through the game, no English. After the game is over, still no English. And at the end of my presentation, I said, listen. And they listened. I said, listen to that sound. You see how quiet it was? I said, that's how quiet it was in residential schools because our kids were not allowed to speak. All right? So, anyways, I tell the kids, okay, culture, language. Okay, we're going to do language now. I said, okay, and about this time, this is where I invite my good friend to come and help me. And I say, he doesn't speak English at all. So, but I want you to introduce yourself to him in the only language that he knows. So all I want you to say is the word Ani, and then say your name, and then you say indigenous cause. And I tell the kids, I says, this is the oldest language in North America. I happen to know it. And you're going to get to know it today, and for the next 10 weeks, you're going to be able to speak in one of the oldest languages in North America. So, do you want to meet my friend? So, I get my friend. This is my friend. His name is Mr. Pakwaakwat. Okay? When I throw Mr. Pakwaakwat to you, you catch him and you introduce yourself. You say Ani, say your name, and then you say indigenous cause. All right? So I throw the ball, they catch it, and some of them are a little nervous, but I said, it's the oldest language in North America. You're going to see it, you're going to speak it. So they introduce themselves. Okay? So I go on with my story. I said, Mr. Pakwaakwat decided to go shopping one time. He heard that there was a new Walmart store opening up in town. So he decided to go check it out. So while he was shopping, he meets up with this lady. She only speaks the native language also, Anishinaabe. They started talking in the language, okay? Well, after, and I asked the kids, I said, do you want to say hi to her too? I throw the ball to them, and they say, Ani, and then they introduce themselves. I said, well, you know what? Mr. Pakwaakwat and this woman, they decided to get married. And you know what? After a couple of years, they had a couple of kids. You want to meet the kids? And they all say, yeah, we want to meet the kids. They only speak the Anishinaabe language, okay? They're twins, okay? So I throw the ball to them, this one to them, and they all say, Ani, say they're indigenous cause, and pretty soon I got most of them, they're learning, and they're enjoying what they're learning. There's more. I dropped one. That happens in the classroom too. They're cousins. Okay? They speak the language too. Okay? So I throw the ball to them, throw that to them, and they all speak in the language. Okay? There's even more. They're relatives from Canada. Okay? And we're all happy and everything. They even have me throw it to the teacher. And the teacher gets to say Ani, and then their indigenous cause. Then I introduced them to my message. I said, you know what? Look at one another's similarities and respect one another's differences. That's my message to you. Not all of us look the same. Some of us look a little different. Some of us are darker than others. But you kids, you're just starting off with your life. You're 10 years old. You've got a lot in front of you. You've got a lot to learn. Okay? And we're going to learn, I called my program Understanding Anishinaabe Culture. Anyways, that's my little presentation. I hope you take it and use it also in your community. Miigwech kabzen doyek binong goding wingezik sana.